The most bizarre thing that ever happened on a date was I took a girl to an improv show. I was living back in New York. Halfway through the date, she was like, "Where's the bathroom? I have to go to the bathroom." I was like, "I think it's back there." And she never came back.
Max Meisel, welcome to Bitter Bitch. Welcome to the show. You know, you're my first guest host.
Thanks, Jules.
First video space in this space, and we're ready for it. You're sweating already.
Yeah, really. This is...
I love it. Okay, I want to talk to you. You started a comedy show, monthly comedy show. You're an actor, a writer, a comic, fitness guru.
A guru?
Yeah, I mean, when I show up to the class, when I show up to your classes, you are
guru.
You're hitting it. You're dancing. There's like comedy in your class. I love it.
Thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about why and how this monthly comedy show that you produce and host started and when it started. It's been a little over a year now. Mm-hmm. Give it to me. What was the inspiration behind the show? The
first show was last August, so August of 2023. And it was, I think, July of last year, and there was about to be another writer's strike. And all of us actors were like, again, like we just came out of COVID. No one was working for like a year and a half. And then right after that, there was this writer's strike, and everyone was going to be essentially out of work for the next 7-ish months, right? And I'm pretty new to LA, you know, a couple years in at that point, and I was just like getting really tired, as we've talked about, of just being like another person out here who's like, "Oh, it's slow right now. Oh, how's it going for you? Oh, it's slow. There's no..." I was like, I just can't have that conversation anymore. I was getting very tired of it, you know, and I moved out here to work, so I'm like, what the hell?
How long, so last July, how long had you already been in LA? Like how long have you been?
Like a little less than 3 years, I think, by that point.
Okay.
I had some momentum coming out here. I had this short film that like kind of gave me a little bit of comedic currency. Mm-hmm. But then again, like things were just so slow, like nothing was happening. And so I'd been organizing those happy hours for the studio. It was just to like make more friends. Like those happy hours were just so I can start hanging with people, getting to know them outside of these fitness classes. And I saw like over those few months, 30, 40, 50 people were coming to every happy hour.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. People were really excited to just jam. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to make this happy hour my comedy show, and I'll actually like do something, and I'll create something, and I'll be a comic, and I'll just stand up on stage and do all these jokes that I've been writing for 10 years.
I was going to say, had you been doing stand-up prior to you starting the show? Like, was that something you were already fluid in, doing it, touring around, or was this like, okay, this is a new venture, I'm just going to dive in and see what happens?
So back in New York, I was leading with acting, but I was always doing comedy kind of like secondarily.
Okay.
I was writing tons of stand-up. I was doing a bunch of open mics. I performed tons of improv. But I was living the life of an actor, you know, early in the morning acting classes, auditions, and I just like didn't have the time or the energy to like be the late night comedy club hang, which is what you have to do if you're going to be a comedian. So I just never did anything more than an open mic. And so last July when I broke open all my writing, I was like, I have a decade of jokes that I just like really haven't done on a grand scale. So I was like fully ready. I just hadn't really done a legit huge show. So that first show last August, 143 people came. That was the biggest audience I'd ever performed for.
That was the space off Lincoln, right? This was still
the Polish restaurant, yeah.
Okay. Damn.
And so while I was ready in some ways, I was completely unprepared in a million other ways. Like, how do you actually produce a show? I had no idea.
Just dive in and do it. Well, which brings me to E! News recently came to a show of yours over the summer and wrote an article titled "How Max Meisel is Changing the Comedy Game." And something you said in there kind of hit me because it makes so much sense. And on a last episode, we were talking about how the dating apps really suck and how they're not authentic and they kind of just feel forced, and it's where we're headed, but it's also, I think people are sick of it. And in your article, you said, what makes the show great is people are ready to get out of the bars and off the apps. They want to find a cool, authentic space to meet somebody. Are you finding that people are authentically meeting? I know that come maybe the Valentine's show, you started implementing the wristbands. Do you want to tell us about what those are and what it means and what started that?
It was supposed to be just like a one-off thing for the Valentine's Day show. My cousin was in town and he helped me with the show. And we put together this little menu of colored bracelets.
Like glow stick bracelets.
Yeah, the glow stick bracelets. Green if you're single, red if you're taken, purple for let's get weird, and yellow for it's complicated. We were like, oh, this will be a fun way to just get people in the audience talking to each other about anything. It's just supposed to be a gateway. Oh, you're wearing a purple bracelet? How do you get weird? Like, whatever, just be creative. It's up to you now.
Okay.
But yeah, like to that quote, I was like, yeah, I want people to come to this show and meet somebody, whether it's a friend that they're going to hang with or a girl they want to talk to, whoever, I don't care. I just wanted to bring the social element into a comedy show.
Which you've done. I mean, I've been to a number of your shows, and it starts out, I'll let you speak to the format of it, but it's like a party, and people are mingling and they're mixing, and you see old friends, you make new friends. But I like the idea that you're showing up. There's the pre-party, there's the after party, and then even during the show, if you're fortunate enough to sit in the front row, like I was, and get picked on, which I secretly kind of love, I like to be a part of it. So it's like, why not? I have no problem letting people laugh at my expense. And I think, would you say like the people that are in the front row or in the first few rows, I mean, even beyond that, you kind of pull them out and pick them out. How many of those people are people you know, and how many are just outright strangers that you're picking on?
Equal balance.
Okay.
Equal balance, I'd say.
Okay.
And more people I don't know, actually.
Okay. And people are really liking the vibe. So speak to the structure of the show, because I think it's different than what you're going to get at a normal, like when you go to the Laugh Factory or you go anywhere else. What is it that you're doing different?
Totally. So there's 3 phases of the night. The first hour, 7 to 8 o'clock, is a happy hour. So there's a playlist, there's a DJ, she's spinning, she's getting the vibes going. And there's the bar, there's the pizza truck. And I just want to get a hang. There's the photo booth over in the corner. I just want people to hang and talk. You know, most comedy shows, you're like running in right when the show starts. I want everyone to feel comfortable. Have a drink, feel like you talked to somebody, and now you're all sitting down. You're all on the same page.
Yeah.
You're all in this ready to go. The communal circle, I feel like, lends itself to everyone letting themselves now have a better time because you're familiar. That's the goal.
And you know, people around you are trying to get weird later. Or it's complicated.
Not with me, unfortunately, but yeah, they are.
Maybe you're going to take someone home with a yellow bracelet where they showed up with somebody and they're going to go home with you.
It hasn't happened yet, but...
Are you getting... Well, on that note, I'm privy to your comedic style. I know that you talk pretty openly and use your sex life for jokes, which I find hilarious. But I'm also like, if I was on the other end of that... I don't know if I would find it hilarious. Is there some kind of disclaimer when someone's hooking up with you? When you're on a date, hey, just so you know, I'm a comic and this is probably going to be on my stage in a month.
I don't ever have those conversations.
Well, no.
Maybe I should. I'm not going on dates with anybody hoping that there's a bit attached to it.
I would.
Why?
Content creation. Why not?
Interesting. Kidding. That's a great approach, actually.
Well, if you're out there, because you're single. Are you single?
I'm very single, Jules. Thank you for reminding me of that. I appreciate it.
Single and mingling.
I'd like to mingle some more, but, you know. Actually, at my last show, my grandmother hooked me up with a girl.
Your grandmother?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So my grandma and my mom came to visit.
Okay. Where are they from?
From New York, living in Florida.
Okay.
And they've never seen my show. I mean, no one from back home has seen my show. So they came out to visit for the show. And my grandma and my mom sat, for some reason, 2 chairs away from each other. Whatever.
They didn't want to be associated with each other?
I think that they wanted to, like, enjoy the show and not be embarrassed by something that could happen.
Okay.
And my grandmother, the moment before I went on stage, says, do not mention anything about me. Sweet. I walked on stage. The first thing I said was, my grandmother's here. She was sitting next to this really cute blonde girl.
Okay.
And after the show, I went up to her and I was like, you've been sitting with my grandma the entire time? So I took her out to lunch the next day.
Oh, did grandma speak to her at the show, to Blonde?
Yeah, apparently they were sitting in my grandma's seat and my grandmother was like, move.
Your grandma from New York?
Yeah.
How does she, like, give me a grandma, like, quote, like, how does she speak? Because I can usually imitate my grandma. She was.
All right. So, like, if she saw you, she'd be like, oh, you look marvelous. Oh, you're so beautiful. Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay.
But she speaks like in Yiddish as well. She's like, oh, those fakakta shoes you're wearing, those are crazy. She's like a New York Jewish old woman who's like Tiny Jewish women are not to be fucked with, and that's the truth, okay? Do not mess with these people. They're just very scary women.
Is your mom the same way?
Yes. But like they're just like, the women in my family are just very opinionated and loud, and just don't mess with them.
Yeah, don't do it. So you're still single. How did it go with Blonde? We had a lunch and that was that? Or did she make it into the next comedy? Is she going to be in the next comedy show?
She was visiting, so it didn't go beyond that. North Carolina. She was visiting a friend who randomly came to the show.
This is also a segue into, you just got back from Burning Man.
Yeah.
How was that?
The greatest place of all time.
Okay, for somebody like myself or somebody who might be listening that's like, fuck Burning Man, it's for the hippies or whatever. Tell me why it's, because you always come back and you're like, it's such a vibe, it's amazing. What is it that keeps you going back? What is it about Burning Man that's so captivating that people just are obsessed with? And then also get kind of pegged as burners, right? That's
totally
the term. Like, what is it about this festival? Is it called a festival?
Yeah, it's a festival, yeah.
Are the people going to Burning Man the same people going to like Coachella?
No.
Okay, different vibe.
I'm glad you asked this, because when you look at Instagram, right, it just looks like a awesome music festival on steroids, because everyone's just taking a video of like, oh, the Rufus du Sol sunsets. Like, that's like one small part of Burning Man. But Burning Man is like an entire desert full of like art installations and people making food. You know, there's like everything and anything going on at Burning Man. Because it takes a lot of work, because it's harsh elements, because you're in the desert, it kind of like weeds out this like younger Coachella crew that's like 25. Burning Man skews older.
Yeah, because I had a friend who is an ER nurse, and she would go every year with like a group of doctors and psychologists, and I'm like, oh, that's not the vibe I thought it was. I was kind of picturing it like Coachella in the desert, bunch of hippies and glitter and cowboy boots.
Not at all. No, it's so first of all, the great equalizer of Burning Man is that there's no money involved at Burning Man. There's nothing to buy when you go to Burning Man. Did you know that?
No, but you buy a ticket to go.
So you buy a ticket to go in. You can buy ice, but outside of that, there's like,
it's barter.
I mean, not as simple as like, I'll give you this if you give me that. It's just like, oh, my camp is making noodles every single night. Great. Here's your noodles. You, whatever you do, go out there and give it to somebody. So you're constantly being given things the entire week.
What are you giving to people? What are you giving to people?
Personally?
Yeah.
I know you're expecting a sexual-based answer right now, Jules, and, you know, I didn't do any of that. But what I did actually, this was awesome. I had a big backpack cooler full of ice and cold fruit and drinks.
Okay.
You have no idea how appreciative people are when you're in the middle of the desert at a party and you bust out like a plate of cold fruit. People were going wild.
Is it infused with anything?
No. Just coldness.
Good job. Just coldness. Infused with coldness. Yeah. Okay. So it's like a big, I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like it's like Mad Max meets some kind of like psychedelic trip. Is in my mind, that's what I picture. Like the future, this barter system, this like free love.
Everyone's on equal planes, right? Like people always ask me like, oh, like are the tech billionaires taking over Burning Man? There's nothing to take over because the billionaire has to get on his bike and bike across the desert, just like the guy staying in a tent.
But he might be on an electric bike.
An electric bike for sure.
As opposed to a pedal.
Everyone is on the same level. And it's just like the most creative place I've ever been. And it taps into like being a kid, dressing up in a costume and playing all day, all night. That's why it's so much fun.
You also shared with me that you have some friends that you go with that do have families and that go, but like it's kind of like a moment for them to like take outside of the family. Because obviously I have a child and a husband, and not to say that we wouldn't go or it wouldn't be a thing. I mean, I vacation without my kid all the time. I'd go do things. But obviously no kids are allowed, which is great.
There's tons of families there.
What?
There's tons of kids there.
Families?
There's camps and areas of Burning Man that are quieter camps because people are bringing their children. Oh, there's kids all over the place.
That mind-blowing to me.
Awesome.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. You see these kids playing around and like, oh, we're supposed to be doing that too.
And so obviously where the kids are playing, where the kid camps maybe are, and the family camps we'll call them, It's probably different than where like the love camps.
Yeah, like the orgy dome is not going to be like near the kids' camp, but like
the orgy dome. That's a thing. That's a real thing.
it's a thing.
I love that. Why has there not been like a film about this? Are you writing it? Are you writing something about
I'm actually curious why there aren't like, I've seen some documentaries on Burning Man. I think it does like an okay, like the coolest parts that would really demonstrate what Burning Man's about, like you can't properly capture in a video.
Yeah.
Like I'm biking across the desert at 4 a.m, middle of nowhere, and I stumble upon a pizza truck. I can't capture that in a video. How amazing it is that I found a pizza
At 4 a.m.
in the middle of the nowhere. The middle of nowhere.
They were a part of the festival, obviously.
But that's the thing. Everything's part of the festival. Like Burning Man isn't providing you with anything other than the man that they burn at the end.
Okay. How
Outside of
big
that,
is it?
Like 60,000 people. And
oh my.
It's all user based. So if you're going to a party, if you're eating food, if you're being gifted a necklace, that was all, or watching a concert, that was all put up by people who also bought tickets to Burning Man. Burning Man just gives you the canvas. Everyone who bought a ticket brings the paintbrush.
Oh, that's such a cute metaphor.
I just thought of that.
Look at you. You're so...
Oh,
this guy's single. He's single. Okay, on that note, though, let's talk single. Let's talk single life, Max Meisel. I feel... So I helped you with a tape recently, and I've been to your apartment a few times. I've seen it, and one of the kudos I will give to you is that not only, ladies, is it fucking spotless, it's so clean. You have like art on the walls. You've got travel books. You've got a couch. Like, it's sad to me that this is like impressive of sorts, because I've been to bachelor apartments. I've been to friends' places that have girlfriends, but obviously don't live with them. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening here? You've got your clippings, your shavings on the sink. You've got toenails. Like, it's disgusting what single men are willing to live with. And so I just want to say, did you grow up that way? Is it like, okay, I know at any moment a woman could come back here, so it needs to look, I can't have dirty underwear on the floor and toenail clippings on the sink. So like, have you always been this way, or is this a tactic?
I grew up in a pretty like OCD Jewish clean household.
Okay.
Big time. Oh yeah.
Meisel. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So she did well. It was your mom's fault. She did well.
My mom, my grandmother, my aunt. Actually, my mom's pretty messy. My mom's actually extremely messy. No, my mom is messy as all hell. Wow. Yeah, she's really messy.
Now that you think about it.
My grandmother and my aunt are super clean, super OCD.
But you were raised by women?
I mean, I had a dad. I have a dad.
I have a dad. He's there.
He's there.
Okay, but
like it's the women run the house. Like in these Jewish households, the women own the house. Like that's the deal. It's their house.
Okay.
And I think the guy just like does whatever he has to do to survive the next day.
I want to go live in a Jewish house. This sounds fun, or at least be a fly on the wall.
Similar to like Italians. It's like the men might be like bringing home the bacon, but like the woman runs the show.
Yeah, that's how it was in my grandparents' house.
And they're just very clean. They're all very clean. So I also want to be clean. Also, I don't want to lay in like dirty ass apartments.
No.
It feels good to be in a clean apartment. Plus, yes, if someone comes over, I'm going to make sure I'm clean.
Okay. Are you looking for a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about that. What does that look like for a man in his late 30s? Successful business owner.
Oof.
I mean,
going, girl.
Look at you. Like, what is Max looking for? Are you on a dating app?
Yes, but I don't even use it.
Okay. Which one?
I'm on Raya.
I feel like that's the best one of them all.
It's the worst dating app ever created.
But I feel like because you have to pay for it, it weeds out like the people who are not serious.
No one on that website is serious.
Are they all just looking to network?
They're looking for Instagram followers.
Oh, that's sad.
It's insane.
That's ridiculous. Okay, so you're on Raya, but not really on Raya. So you're meeting women out naturally, organically at shows, at clubs, at bars. Where are we meeting women?
It's wild. This is insane to say this. I haven't been on like a legit date in months.
You did mention that this was your first date in 3 months.
This one.
This right here.
This is as
water.
much of a one-on-one. I mean, we got a guy over there, but other than that, This is as much of a date as I've been on in months. However, I'm going on a blind date tomorrow.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
A friend of mine who lives in LA, I know her from high school. She said, Max, I have a girl I want to introduce you to.
Okay.
And I was like, great, like, what's she about? Like, well, and I was like, you know what? She goes, do you trust me? I'm like, no, not really, but an idea of a blind date is very exciting to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking text you all this, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from here. Oh, amazing. I don't care.
Okay.
Let's just go on the date.
At
worst, we don't like each other.
Do you know what she looks like?
No.
You haven't
blank.
seen, completely blank.
Me
You
and
have no
her
idea.
know nothing about each other. We do not know. I mean, maybe my friend showed her a picture of me. I didn't ask, but from my end, it is a completely blind date.
So are you having like a Meg Ryan situation, like flower in the book? Like, how are you going to know who she is, where she is? Are you picking her up? I need to know
I'm picking her up,
details.
yeah.
You're picking her up.
So we talked about this last night.
Okay.
Because it's a blind date, I want this to be quick with an option to extend.
Oh my God, it sounds like a contract.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're buying a house or a lease or something. With an option.
Leasing a night, that's for sure.
Oh, okay. So
I'm
what's
picking her
the
up.
date?
We're going for ice cream.
That's cute. Okay.
Because guess what? If we both don't like each other, at least we had ice cream. We
Yeah.
talked a bit. Now we're home.
And payday's Friday, so you got to be a little slim. Just
I
kidding.
didn't make that much last week, let me tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not going to do dinner or drinks. It's a blind date. If we like each other, we'll hang out more.
Well, I also like that you're not like, let's go grab a drink, let's go to a bar. It's
hate
like
that.
a lot of people, I mean, I don't really drink just because I don't really prefer it. It's way too fucking expensive in this town. Like a cocktail for $25, no thank you. But I also like the idea that it's like, okay, let's go do something with little pressure, right? You go out to a club or a bar. I don't know. I feel like there's more pressure. The way that you're dressed. Do you dance? Do you drink? What if you drink too much? Like, so I do like the idea. Was it your idea? Okay. Have you picked out the ice cream spot? Are you taking her a good one?
I take all my dates there.
Oh my God, you're a regular. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
Max has brought another one.
I've seen one friend there a million times when I've been on a date, and she always like looks at me and looks down. It's like she does every single time.
So wait, this is your thing. This is your shtick.
I like ice cream dates, yeah.
Quick, to the point, option to extend.
Yeah.
I die. Okay, so that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Okay, we're recording on a Tuesday. It's a Wednesday. I need a Thursday
We'll have to get an
update. I'm so curious, like, what is a red flag for you on a date? Like, first, what's something you hear and you're just like, you get the ick, like immediately, or like, not for me, moving on? Because obviously, like, you have standards, we all should, but it's like, what is it that's maybe you haven't found that person to like move to the next step with? Is it you? Is it them? It's
definitely not me.
It's definitely not you.
Listen,
You're perfect.
I said in my last stand-up show, if I was 6'2", I'd be perfect. And I truly do believe that. I really do.
Okay.
So I'm as close to perfect as you can get. I don't really know why it's happening. Why is it not happening for me, Jules? I can't tell you right now. But I'm trying. I feel like a lot of these people out in LA don't have a lot of ambition.
Okay.
Don't have a lot to do. And that's a huge red flag for me. Because I've at times, truthfully, been that person.
Okay.
Where I've either been a little bit lazy or I've lacked a structure. And I can see how, like, unsexy that can be. So now that I have tons of structure and very little free time, it to me is wildly attractive when the other side has something like that going on for them too.
Yeah.
So that's
Ambition.
like my first red flag. Do you have ambition?
Drive, ambition. Like, yeah, what are you working towards?
not
It's so
honest.
interesting that you say that, though, because in LA, I almost feel like everyone's, and maybe this is the misconception, everybody's out here trying to do or be something. But now, at least that's how it felt 10 years ago when I lived here. But now the difference that I'm finding, and agree or disagree, it's like everybody's trying to look like they have something going on. And it is all about their following on social media or the trend, or it's like this perception of what do I look like on the outside? What does it seem like? I almost feel like the people that in my life that I know that are doing the most are rarely like, they're promoting stuff online. They're posting about it because it's almost like you have to, and it's free marketing. But they're not out here talking all the time about what they're doing and like constantly just showing out constantly. So I'm just curious, the people that you're coming in contact with, like what are they out there trying to do? Just nothing.
I agree with what you're saying. There's
a good level of people that have ambition and that are working towards making a name for themselves. But there's also that bracket of people that I think it is just for show, or it is just for the likes or the follows.
I really agree with you. I've never wanted to move out here. I'm really happy that I'm here now. This was the next chapter of my life and it's going well. But I was always I was kind of scared of this place because this is the place where you can do all the things that you just said. Mm-hmm. You can never do this in New York.
Why?
New York will kick your ass. Because you can't coast in New York.
You can't be inauthentic.
It's too tough. Mm-hmm. You know, like the city's not going to let you slide. Good vibes only and this and that doesn't work out there. People don't talk like that.
Yeah.
But out here, you can kind of like curate your circle around people that are doing the same things and liking the same things. And you can all just keep that bubble protected. You can stay in your car all day. You don't have to deal with the schedule of the world around you. This is your schedule out here. In New York, you have to get on the subway at a certain time. You have to make an appointment at a certain time. You can't just kind of like show up how you want to show up. There's a rhythm in New York City that you have to adjust to. Here, I feel like everyone kind of like contorts their world around them.
Very self-indulgent.
But this city's built on that.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's built on ego.
It's built on
ego and pride.
And I also think that, like, to your point, yeah, you can appear like you're really busy. You can post whatever you want on social media and your crew back home will be like, wow, that guy's doing great.
Right.
But like, what are you actually doing out here? And I've met people that are really working and are really about the work. And those are the people that I really gravitate towards because they make me work a lot harder. Mm-hmm. What started my show was that I felt like I was around a lot of people that were talking about the work. And I was becoming one of those people too. Mm-hmm. I was becoming one of those people that was like getting wrapped up in the whole, it's slow, so we can't really work right now, right? Mm-hmm. It's slow. Then I went to these shows on the East Side, watching these like alt comics do like these weird clown shows and these weird mime shows. And I was like, oh, these people don't care about the strike.
Yeah.
They have their monthly show to do every month. I got to go see what these people are doing. It changed how I thought about this. They were up there doing the weirdest shit, having fun up there, writing all the time, every month. They don't got time to think about a writer's strike.
Well, and it gave them, I would imagine it gave them purpose. It gave them, like, again, something to do, something productive to put their creative energy into, rather than just sit around and like just let it be and let us accept the fact that there's a strike and there's nothing I can do about it. Therefore, I can't work. Woe is me. I do feel like a lot of people kind of took that. Same thing with COVID. Like a lot of people in this industry, in the entertainment industry, it was like a make or break. Either you dove headfirst back in and you were like, no, this is still everything I want to do, or it weeded out the people that weren't really serious about it. I feel like the strikes have done that as well. It's like, it's not butterflies and rainbows out here, no matter what people are posting online. Yeah. Like it's slim pickings and it's hard. So you have to be a little innovative. You have to pivot because at this point, if you're not a multi-hyphenate like creator, it sucks, but it's kind of like, well, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Because you're more than just the actor. You're more than just the comic. Like you can do more. You write, you do all these things. So why not put yourself out there in a bigger capacity? Create something that's like tangible and that's yours and that you can put your stamp on. Like what you've done, I talk about it all the time with friends. I'm like, he's doing this and he's out there. I'm like really proud of you because I feel like I remember last year when you were talking about this idea of doing it and you were like, I think I'm going to do this thing. And I was like, hell yeah. Why not? Like my mentality is always like, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
If it fails, it fails. Try something else. Do something different. I think a lot of people live in like this fear that it'll fail and they'll be embarrassed or it'll fail and I can't do something different. But life is just kind of like pivots here and there.
Yeah. And I know we've had a million conversations about this,
yeah.
like this exact topic, like what's going to be the path and like how are we going to get there and are we willing to like think outside the box? And, I think I've spent a lot of time being quite lazy and just thinking, oh, I have an agent. I'll get an audition when I get an audition. Or just being on cruise control.
Yeah.
And the industry's been very loud in telling me, we actually don't need you, buddy. We're doing just fine without you. It's the truth. Like,
Yeah. But that's sad.
but that's how it is. Hollywood doesn't need anybody.
Yeah.
You have to give them a reason to say, oh, we need this. We need this person. He's great.
Well, it's like, and now with, I mean, the content creation that's happening, YouTube, social media, you name it, like we have the ability, we all have iPhones, you can get a mic, like you have the ability to create something. And if you really, at the end of the day, and if it's not about fame and it's not about the numbers or likes or whatever, and you want to tell stories, like you have the power to tell a story. Go out and tell a fucking story. Sit down at your computer and write something and then get your friends together and make it. And I hate when people say that to me. They're like, well, just go make it yourself. Because it is overwhelming and there is a lot of factors. But it's like one step at a time. Okay, maybe today you write something. And then tomorrow you stand up at a mic and say a joke, which is not easy.
You did it.
No, I almost did it. I took a stand-up class and then I was immediately like humble pie. I don't get embarrassed easily. At least I don't think I do. But getting up on that mic in front of people, in front of 6 other classmates, like trying to tell a 2-minute bit, I was mortified, terrified. And I was like, this is on a bucket list. Like doing stand-up is on a bucket list for me. I don't know that I'll ever do it.
You could, though.
I could.
I think that's why I'm really liking stand-up right now. It's because it doesn't require anyone else.
Yeah.
It doesn't require getting cameras and other people and a space and all this other stuff. Like, I just need a microphone. And if I suck today, I get to do the same exact thing tomorrow. I'll go do it again tomorrow.
When's the last time you bombed on stage?
Oh, my God. I bombed at the Improv a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I went up at the Comedy Store the night before. I did the exact same set. I did great. I did the exact same set the next day. Crickets.
How does that feel?
I need to bomb more.
Oh.
You need to bomb. You need to learn how to do it.
I have heard that. My stand-up coach, teacher, whatever he was, did say, like, if you can get up there and bomb and then go back and do it again, like, that is only going to help your comedy. It's going to help you learn from that. And you need to bomb because you need to also create your type 5, your bit.
You need to learn how to, like, structure things and stuff like that. Plus, I'm also, this isn't necessarily a great thing, but I kind of have the athlete's mentality when I analyze my shows, especially Backdoor Comedy. If it goes well, I don't really let myself feel proud because it was supposed to go well. I worked hard all week because I wanted to build this great show. And yeah, I worked that's supposed to go well right there. I obsess over the part that didn't go well. If it's one little joke that didn't hit, or like the lighting looked a little weird in there, like I analyze and obsess over all that part. And I lose sleep over that.
Like the production of the show.
The whole thing.
Okay.
If one thing didn't hit for whatever reason, I obsess over that. I analyze the negative. Let's fix that. Because that's the stuff, it was supposed to go well. I got that.
Yeah.
Let's fix that part now. So I need to be better balanced because I think it's important to also be like, well, there was 160 people at the show last week. Everyone had a great time. Great job. I don't really let myself feel that way.
Okay.
I don't feel like I can right now.
Well, but you're also a year in and now you're at the point where you're like pivoting into how to make this better, how to make it bigger, better, reach a wider net, get it out there and continue to do what you're doing, like making it different in a way. I mean, obviously the bracelets I love. I love the idea of kind of the pre-party, the after party, the community of it all is where I'm finding this is like really hitting it because even at a club, which I don't go to, but even at a bar, at a club, it's like, I do feel like it doesn't feel like a community. It feels very, I don't know, I always feel ostracized. I feel like even at a networking event, there's something about a comedy show that lets people's guard down. Like nobody can fight over politics and, women's rights when they're laughing. I mean, they could if the jokes are about that, but it's like everybody's there to have a good time and to laugh. And I think it was like Will Smith or somebody who said that comedy was something that they leaned into because when everybody's laughing, like nobody's fighting. Sounds simple, but
it's true.
You know, it's like when they're all together laughing, like we're all on the same side. And I love that. And I think having the post party where people have laughed together and you've picked on somebody in the audience and then they saw somebody and then afterwards, like,
Totally.
because even at your last show, because you picked on me, because I yelled at I didn't yell at him, but I said words to my husband in the middle of the show because he didn't raise his hand when you asked where the couples were. And I did. And then after the show, somebody came up to me, a girl, and we joked about that moment. So I do think it breaks the ice in a way that allows people to let their guard down and have a good time.
I love that. That's
Kudos.
the ultimate goal of the show, and thank you for telling me that, because that's literally the design of the show. I mean, like, there's a lot of things going on. There's, like, cold plunge social events. There's, like, all these weird things going on the West Side, but it's all designed about community.
Yeah.
The backdrop for mine is a comedy show, but it's all about you hanging and meeting someone and feeling this. We're all on the same team in this room. Maybe a little bit of this.
Maybe a little bit of.
That's the ultimate goal. Why am I doing any of this? Let's just be honest.
You're just trying to get everybody banging.
Why am I doing any of this stuff? Why am I wearing these shoes? If it were up to me, I'd be wearing underwear and no shoes whatsoever.
Oh, you'd be saging, meditating, and barefoot.
Oh, God. Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Speaking of dating, there's this girl that I've had like an interest in for a while, and we've known each other for a bunch of months, and we finally kind of like came together, and we had a good time together one night at this party, danced all night, and afterwards she was like, "Oh, it's been really rough for me ever since eclipse season started," and I'm like, "And I'm out."
Okay, so you just answered my question. What's your red flag? What's your ick? And it's spiritual girls like myself who talk about astrology and saging and the moon.
I'm down to sage every once in a while.
Hey, there's something to it.
What? Tell me
I
about
just
that.
saged the shit out of this room before you got here, and it already feels better.
How does it feel better?
I don't know. I just like the smell.
Thank you so much for saying that. Everyone's so full of shit. I go to this
I don't know.
coffee shop.
It just
I don't
smells
know.
good. I love the smell of Palo Santo. I love the smell of a sage bundle. Obviously, incense and candles and all the things. It's in my head. I feel better. I mean, I don't know the history. I'm outing myself of it's a Native American ritual and tradition. Have I done the research? No. Should I? Yes. But it's like, I like the idea of cleansing a space.
I like that. No,
Yeah.
I like that. But it's these people that like cling to. I go to this coffee shop to work during the day, a couple times a week.
Me too. Which one are you at?
Mudwater.
Oh, I was been meaning to go there in Bennett.
It's
Or
awesome. It's a
maybe-
great place
okay.
to just get some work done.
You
Okay.
might see me creeping.
It's a great place to set up shop and work for the day.
Okay.
It's a bit of a woo-woo kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, well, especially if
This-
they're drinking mud water.
Yeah, and this guy serves me a water, and he's like, "This is reverse osmosis water." And I was like, "Really? What is reverse osmosis?"
What the fuck is it?
And he goes, "I don't know." And I thought it was so funny
I
that we got
love
to have that
calling
moment
people out.
because I was like, "Do any of you actually know what any of this even is? You're touching these rocks. You're talking about eclipse season.
Yeah.
What is going on with you people? Do any of you actually have a job or a place to be? People who have like a place to be don't have time to read charts. They don't have time to be like, oh, Mercury. I just can't. I can't right now."
I will say, when Mercury is retrograde, shit does go south. Technology is wonky.
Yeah.
I have personally experienced that. I love astrology. I also love anything that will tell me more about me. And if that's vain, then I'll take it. But like, I want to learn more about me. I want to learn more about you or my partner. So like, if I can do that with human design, if I can do it with astrology, if I can do it, there's all these numerology things. I haven't read into those, but I feel like, I'm like, yeah, I'll read a Sagittarius book and be like, yep, me, on point. And then it's also like, I lean into things a little bit more. So I do think it's all mindset. I think that charging crystals, don't fucking know how to do that. I have a whole shit ton of crystals everywhere.
Do you?
Yeah, because the idea of like, well, this can bring abundance. Sure, grab me a crystal.
Yeah, shove it up my ass.
Sure.
I don't care. It's just very fun to make fun of. All this is so much fun to make fun of.
I know.
I'm all a proponent of people wanting to better themselves. I wish most of these rock touching women had a job. That would be really nice.
Have you been on a date with a rock touching woman lately?
I haven't been on a date with anybody lately.
Okay, well, have you dated a rock touching woman and was it like a for you?
I can't specifically think of anybody right now, but
So tomorrow's date, if she's a rock touching, charging, sage bundle, smoking, she's out. Give her a chance because I'm that.
Yes,
and
but
you
you're
like
taken.
me.
Yeah, but you're taken.
But you like me.
I love you.
Okay.
But you're taken. And until the... Well, you have a hot sister, don't you?
I do, but she's also taken.
God damn it.
I know. We're all taken.
Yeah. Somebody swiped up all those real deal rock touching women. No, this girl tomorrow I think has a real job because she said she's not free during the week until 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
And I was like, oh my
She's
God.
a stripper. I'm just kidding.
What? I mean, she's
kidding.
working at 8 o'clock.
Oh, she's working until 8 o'clock?
She's working until 8 o'clock every day during the week.
Ugh,
She doesn't have time to touch rocks.
that sounds awful, to be honest. Working
Yes.
until 8 p.m., but she also doesn't have kids. So
Maybe she has
that
a real
makes
job. Maybe
sense.
I have no idea. But I know that for a fact, if she's working till 8 o'clock, she don't have time to sage rooms all day.
I'm going to laugh if she's a sage smuddling little
Oh my
bitch.
God.
Max.
I wasn't making fun of you too
No,
bad.
I know.
I really
I don't
just
take it
love to be
personal.
the New Yorker in part of this and be like,
I also don't take it personal because for me, it's something... I'm spiritual. I have those spiritual beliefs and I believe in energy and I believe we're all connected by energy. And and the only reason that I truly in my heart, gut, soul believe and live my life in that way is because I've experienced that. Like I've experienced energetic exchange. I've experienced bad energetic exchange, so why not lean into something as simple as, hey, we don't vibe, or hey, we do.
yeah.
To
I
me,
agree
it's
with that.
simple, and that's why I like it.
Cool.
Thank you for coming on. This was fun.
It flew by. Wow.
I know. I have a few rapid fire. They don't have to necessarily be rapid fire, but I do have a few questions. We already answered one of them. What's an instant red flag on a date? So quickly, what comes to mind? Instant red flag.
On a date?
Yep.
Not being excited about something.
Oh. Okay. Most bizarre date you've been on?
I don't want to share all the details of this date.
Oh, then now you have to. Give us the cliff notes.
It's really bad. This is the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay. Give it to us.
Wow, this is really crazy. It wasn't a date, actually. I met her out with friends.
Okay. But it was bizarre.
And she... You know what? This isn't a date, so I don't have to say the story.
Oh, you're such a coward.
It's not... How about this? The most bizarre thing that ever happened on a date was I took a girl to an improv show. I was living back in New York. Mm-hmm. It was a legit date. Halfway through the date, it was during the improv show, she was like, where's the bathroom? I have to go to the bathroom. I was like, I think it's back there. And she never came back.
She ditched you. She ghosted you in the middle of the date?
Middle of the date.
Or she got the shits? Which is
so I thought that maybe she did have an issue. I texted her and all this stuff. She never got back to me. So I Venmo'd her half the bill.
That's sweet.
Yeah, you stay on the whole date. You get the whole date taken care of. You leave halfway through the date. You pay half the bill.
Oh, I took it as you Venmo'd her. You Venmo requested her.
I Venmo requested her 50% of what the bill cost for that night. Yes, for the tickets to the show and the drinks.
You were like, bitch, you ditched me.
You owe me $28 right now. $28 I charged her.
Dead.
I specifically know. It was more the concept.
Yeah.
It was, how dare you?
Okay.
In what planet are you on where you think this was like a cool idea? You couldn't wait 20 more minutes or just be like, hey man, like I don't like this show or I don't like you or whatever. Who knows?
Did she fill the request? Did she Venmo you?
She went, I knew her through this gym that I went to and her friend paid me instead of her. I never saw her again after that.
Okay.
What trashy people. What's going on?
This was in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, New Yorkers don't fuck around, like you said.
I haven't gone on any dates in LA that have like warranted anything exciting or crazy yet.
Oh.
I haven't been on a lot of dates in New York. I really, in LA, I really haven't.
You're just fucking around. I'm just kidding.
I fucking I don't know if actually.
All right, last one. Name 3 things in your nightstand right now.
A book, an eye mask, and bracelets.
Kind of bracelets.
These kind of bracelets.
Oh, None of that was exciting. What kind
You
of
were
book?
expecting something.
My nightstand's
so-
more exciting than that.
You were like, what were you expecting? Condoms. No, I don't use
Lube,
them. They're too
butt
expensive.
plug. I don't know.
A butt plug? What am I doing with a butt plug on my nightstand? Hey, you want a butt plug? What a psychotic thing to think that is in my nightstand.
I don't know. I mean, an eye mask, that could be kinky. I was thinking at least something sexual, but maybe you just don't want, you want to lead, you know, you got a date tomorrow. You want to come off like the stand-up guy that you are.
What is in your nightstand that is categorically satisfying the image that was in your head?
I'd rather not share that.
This is a psycho move right here. Who's putting a butt plug in a drawer?
I don't know.
Oh, thank God the butt plug was right here. Couldn't go to the closet.
Where do
for
you
it.
keep it?
Where should you keep that? In a
Exactly.
closet. I think in a closet.
Where can everybody find you on social? And where and when is your next comedy show? Where is the next Backdoor Comedy?
Well, you can find me on at Max Meisel 86 on Instagram.
Meisel is spelled Meisel 86, which I'm assuming is the year you were born.
It is.
Very cute. On Instagram. And then you also have a page for Backdoor Comedy.
Yeah, Backdoor Comedy LA, November 14th.
November 14th in Venice.
In Venice at the Rose Room. Happy hours at 7. Shows at 8. After parties at 9.
Get your tickets on.
Butt plug giveaways at 10.
Die. All right.
But only if you can keep it in your nightstand. It's a very small butt plug
in your butt.
Or in your butt. That's really only
plug's
two
welcome.
places for it. As long as it's dishwasher safe. Because I'm doing pretty well right now, so I have a dishwasher at my apartment.
Clean apartment with a dishwasher and a book in the nightstand, ladies. What more could you want? Max, thank you for coming. We love you here at Bitter
Jules,
Bitch.
I love you. Wow.
Yay, we